The way I did it is I applied a novelistic structure to the screenplay, which I've always thought if it would use it in cinematic terms, it would be extremely cinematic. But when they transfer novels to movies, that's one of the first things that goes. And I like the idea of like for instance, like you read a book, all right. It thinks nothing of starting in the middle of the story, all right, and like if you're reading like down to chapter 4 or something, and all of a sudden it just it goes into a character's childhood for a while. Is that a flashback? No, it's just the way the narrator is telling the story, and I like that. I like using that structure and applying it to film, but not just to do it. If the film would have been more dramatically engaging, all right, and involving by telling it in a beginning, middle, and end situation, I would have done that. Doing it to do it is not a good enough reason, but it's got to work better that way. And I actually think the kind of answers first, questions later structure that it is made it better, made it more involving. Like the very earliest stage, I thought of not really showing it, but like maybe like a little flash, and they were not like really like see anything. But just like you just get a sense of the mayhem, but not like an actual scene or an actual even like anything you could get a handle on. But it's like I think in the first half of the movie, it generates a lot of suspense because you keep waiting to see what everyone's talking about. But and that's neat. But by the second half of the movie, when you probably realize you're not going to see it, it doesn't matter anymore anyway because it's the movies become about something else beside what happened at the robbery. I did a heist film, and that's my favorite heist film. But I didn't really lift anything from the killing. Like people have brought up the fact that the story goes back and forth like the killing does. But like a big difference in there is like the killing uses a newsreel structure in order to work that framework. On February 7th, on the last day of his life, so and so goes and does this. So that was like this like newsreel section where I tried to adopt a novelistic structure.